We got a lot for you today, JP, but let's start with this mega deal. It's one that Oakland
he knows he
fans,
wants to talk about that.
Oakland fans knew it was coming. I mean, they've seen this before. Develop a star only to watch him go and become a Hall of Famer somewhere else. Here we go again from the Oakland perspective. From the Atlanta perspective, while there's got to be some disappointment, for all the reasons we just discussed, they made a great pivot move. Talk about the deal.
Good morning, gentlemen. And by the way, the same high school as Jeff Francoeur did Matt Olson attend there in Georgia. So you're right. It is an incredible story. We've got a lot of action around the game, and this is the epicenter of it. And I think to Harold's point, I want to really underline what Harold said about the culture that Freddie Freeman created in Atlanta for so many years. You cannot overhaul your entire outfield at the deadline and go on and win the World Series unless you have someone who is the hub of your team, both on and off the field. I think to Harold's point, that was Freddie Freeman for so long. Of course, now he is gone. Now he certainly is moving on. We assume, as Matt says, perhaps the Dodgers, the front runner. I was told yesterday as well, the Blue Jays with some interest too. Reports this morning, the Red Sox are involved. It does seem as though we're going to see some news on Freddie Freeman probably in the next 24 to 48 hours. But I think to what Harold was talking about, the emotion that we saw from Alex Anthopoulos yesterday, from when he was speaking with reporters, he got choked up. He just acquired, to Matt's point, one of the very best first basemen in baseball, a move that on paper from a baseball sense makes absolute sense. You trade out a 32-year-old first baseman and bring in a 27-year-old first baseman who is from your state with 2 years of control. You give up, to your point, Pache, the number one player in the organization. Langoliers, number two, a great young catcher, and then two young right-handers as well. This trade, they gave up a lot, but it's a very sensible price to pay for someone that's going to be in the middle of your lineup potentially for many, many years to come. But Alex Anthopoulos, who's a very thoughtful World Series winning GM, he was legitimately on the verge of tears yesterday. Tears. Talking about this move and why it was so difficult. So I think for all those reasons that you guys touched on, it's an emotional deal, a logical deal in many ways, but one that certainly marks the end of an era for the defending World Series champions.
Yes,
MVP.
Sir. Yes, sir. Let's talk about it from the Oakland perspective.
I think it stinks.
Well, a lot of people from the Oakland perspective think it stinks because they've heard it. They've heard this. Sayonara so many times to their beloved stars.
Sayonara.
Who do we say sayonara to next in Oakland, JP? Because it looks like they're just going to bottom out.
Well, I think starting pitching is now the focus, Matt. And Sean Manaea, Frankie Montas, I was hearing yesterday that the Minnesota Twins have actually talked with the Oakland Athletics about one or both of them. So I think that's probably the next area where you focus. And the Twins have a pretty good farm system. Of course, they just had to part with part of that farm system to bring in Sonny Gray. But you look at the big picture here, and if I am a team that needs starting pitching, Oakland is actually pretty well situated, Matt, to continue to get really good value back for their players. They got the top two players in the Braves farm system. They did very well in moving Olson. They might also move Chapman as well, but Chapman probably has to wait a little bit longer because there is a much greater supply right now of position players via free agency than pitchers. There is not really, certainly Greinke is up there in years, there is not really someone that I would describe as being an all-star, immediate, healthy, ready-to-go starting pitcher on the market now that Carlos Rodon has signed. So I think if I'm Billy Beane, David Forst, the group in Oakland, I'm looking to move pitching because everybody out there that needs an arm can't really find that top of the rotation type arm right now in free agency. They have to come shop in Oakland or perhaps Cincinnati with Luis Castillo. And of course, we saw the move yesterday with the Reds continuing to move their players out. I think the places to go shop right now, if you need a starting pitcher, Oakland with those two, Manaea and Montas, and then Castillo in Cincinnati.
Reds and A's are bottoming out, man. The 1990 World Series feels like it was 100 years ago.
I'm sorry, Reds and A's, it's a terrible look. It's a terrible look. Look, I'm
It's
sorry.
a punt. It's a punt.
I'm just being real here. I thought both those clubs had a chance to be a playoff contending team this year, especially with expanded playoffs. And now we're seeing them go the opposite direction. My question is, why? Why, JP?
Well, it's a great question, and certainly we just saw the CBA signed, and I think every organization is taking its own look at what this means and the rules of engagement, and can you spend to compete in your very same division. I think with Oakland, you at least understand the rationale because we have seen this movie.
I don't, though, because they were
10
10 over 500, and there were only a few out.
Yeah, I understand that, but they have had success with this, Harold, and I think you also look at it this way. Can they continue to pay the arbitration raises for these players, compete? We don't know what's going on with their ballpark. If they had a shovel in the ground at a new ballpark in the East Bay, these trades would not be happening. They're trying to work through that now in the next couple of years. The timing was off by probably 12 months to 24 months, where if they had greater clarity on where they're going to play in the future, they would be able to sign a Matt Olson, a Matt Chapman, a Manaea, a Montas. These deals could happen, but candidly, the timing is not working at the same time, Harold, as their divisional competitors in Texas just signed Semien and Seager. And the Mariners just made a huge move yesterday and believe they're on the verge and the precipice of ending that longest playoff drought in North American major pro sports right now. So they look around, see what's happening elsewhere in the division, say, are we candidly going to get better at the money we have to pay these guys? I think the answer right now is they were probably not willing to spend the money that it was going to take to continue to compete against teams like Texas, like Seattle, that are boosting their payroll, and like Houston, which was 2 wins away from winning the World Series and might still find a way to bring back Carlos Correa himself. So I think in that division, it's a harder task to compete. I think the Angels are getting better year by year. Oakland has taken a step back, as they have done many times before. I think the Reds, looking around in their division, the Brewers, similar market size, they just signed Andrew McCutchen yesterday. So I think it's a matter of windows, hitting your windows, and you've seen a couple teams there in Oakland and Cincinnati that gauged the competitive environment and said, you know what, we can't do this right now, and they made a very decisive move in the other direction.
That's a good answer. I asked for an answer. Doesn't mean I was going to like it, but you answered it.
Yeah, hey, but let's talk about Seattle, because the moves they made yesterday were really interesting. They're moving in the other direction. Last year, they missed a playoff berth by a weekend, really by 2 days. And just yesterday, we learned that Eugenio Suarez and Jesse Winker are going to the Pacific Northwest. Winker, in particular, will be a much-needed lineup presence for a team that lacked only that a year ago, JP.
Matty, it's a great point, and certainly Winker brings that left-handed power. Of course, we saw him as an all-star with the Reds last season, and Suarez is a very interesting bounce-back candidate, too. Again, you have that lefty power, really mixes in nicely with the group there. He can potentially play some center. I think that was the one big question for the Mariners. Do they put Kelenic out in center field? Can Kyle Lewis play? Mitch Haniger, you see him there. It's going to be interesting to see how this team all balances out, but it's that left balance you see there. Crawford, Frazier, two sort of table setters. Haniger, Suarez, power guys. France, also power guy. Having that lefty presence in the middle allows you to bat Kelenic seventh, and I think Kelenic in due time can move way up, but I think it's a nice spot for Jared to begin the season. And Suarez, I love him as a bounce-back candidate. I think in Cincinnati, guys, with the contract, he got a little bit too home run focused in a home run park. I think T-Mobile certainly is not the huge, vast park that it played 10, 15 years ago, but as Harold knows in the Northwest, it's still more of a gap-to-gap type park. And I think if Suarez has that gap-to-gap mentality, just focuses on being a good hitter again, I think he's going to be a tremendous fit there. And again, he's in the company of some very good offensive players as well. And oh, by the way, Julio Rodriguez, guys, he's coming. And whether it's to start the season or at some point in time in the year, the Mariners have him. They've got Noelvi Marte to come and make an impact at some point in time in the next couple of years. I'm telling you guys, the Mariners are a team that I am buying stock in right now in a huge way. Logan Gilbert's getting better and better. They brought in Robbie Ray. Jerry DiPoto's never afraid to make a move. This is going to be an exciting team in the Northwest this season. And when you consider Houston, if Houston ends up losing Correa, there's a pathway for the Mariners to win the division in the West this year. If Houston is minus Correa, it's going to be a really intriguing race there out west.
Woo! Shot out of a cannon on a Tuesday. Let me give you this hot take. Ready for this? Mitch Haniger and Jesse Winker, best right-left 3-4 combination in the AL West, if not in the entire American League.
That's a hot take.
Hot take!
Better than Trout and Ohtani? Hotter
Trout
take.
and Ohtani don't hit 3 and 4.
All right, that's the little caveat.
That's how I saved
I
myself.
bet to think about that. And we'll see where in Texas, Seager and Semien. I mean, again, we'll see again.
Good. Hey,
I'll take the guys
but
in
it's going to be a
Seattle.
very interesting conversation.
The West has risen.
Yeah.
Mitch Haniger's a stud. And
See you, JP.
He
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
He is.
JP, way to go.